The videos coming out of China and spreading across social media are eerily familiar, reminiscent from the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. So what is happening? And do you need to worry? China is experiencing an outbreak of chikungunya, a painful mosquito-borne virus. It has rapidly spread to about 8,000 patients in just 4 weeks, mainly across China's Guangdong province to the south, with the city of Foshan hit the hardest, according to the New York Times. On Monday, Hong Kong reported its first case. Infected residents are being sent to quarantine wards in hospitals, where they're placed in beds covered by mosquito nets, where they have to remain for a week or until they test negative. In a massive effort to curb its further spread, masked Chinese soldiers have been dousing public spaces with insecticide. Authorities have begun releasing elephant mosquitoes, whose larvae devour the smaller virus-carrying mosquitoes, and releasing mosquito-eating fish into Foshan's public ponds. Residents have been ordered to remove stagnant water where the mosquitoes breed from their homes and threatened with fines up to $1,400 if they refuse to comply, according to the BBC. Recent record downpours have led to perfect conditions for mosquitoes to breed in stagnant water.
China is a huge country. The mosquito can grow with the size of a £1 coin. A UK £1 coin is all the clean water it requires. And every time it rains, you are going to have thousands, if not millions, of £1 coin volumes of water that can grow the mosquitoes.
The level of response has not been seen since COVID and show just how jittery Chinese officials are about the potential for another major health crisis. Despite the fact that the swift response by the Chinese government has its citizens online comparing the 2020 pandemic that killed millions of people, chikungunya is vastly different. Though the symptoms can be agonizing, the disease typically isn't deadly.
It develops after a few days. The individual will get fever, very much like dengue, with headache, muscle aches, but the joint pains. The joint pains are very prominent. It can appear in any part of the joints, and then it could even affect the small arms or small joints of the hands, and thereafter it persists.
The name chikungunya actually came from a Swahili dialect, which means to bend over. Right? And the reason is because your joints are so painful, you have to bend over to relieve the pain, and that's how the virus the disease got its name.
Perhaps most significantly, it is not spread between humans. The only way of transmission is through the bites of infected Aedes mosquitoes, but that doesn't mean it can't spread rapidly and widely.
I think the real driver of outbreaks like chikungunya and all that are travelers. The reason is because not everyone who gets infected with chikungunya virus would develop symptoms. So you could still be very well, but you're carrying the virus. And so because of this increased rate of movement of people from one country to another, from one region to another, and made possible by long distance air travel. So you could get infected in, say, somewhere in Latin America, and then you hop on the plane and then fly all the way halfway across the world to get to another place with the virus in you. And when you land there and you get bitten by a mosquito, then you can then transmit the virus to the mosquito, who will then pass the virus on to other people who have not traveled out of the place. So I think that's probably the way that the virus got into China.
The CDC on Friday issued a level 2 travel notice for those going to China as the disease continues to spread. Level 2, which tells travelers to practice enhanced precautions, is on a warning scale of 4, with 4 urging people to avoid all travel to the region. There is no known cure for the virus, but there are 2 approved vaccines in the US, which the CDC is urging Americans traveling to China to get.